Now let's go in the other direction. Say we're given a confidence interval estimate of the proportion, and we're asked to find the p hat and the e, the estimate of the sample proportion and the margin of error from that information. So what we're saying is we're given a confidence interval estimate of the proportion and we're asked to find p hat and e. Okay, so recall that our confidence interval estimate is made up of these parts. When we create it ourselves, we start with a p hat, results from a poll or survey of some sort, and we add the margin of error for our upper confidence limit, and we subtract the margin of error for our lower confidence limit, and then we report our confidence interval estimate. Okay, well, let's think about what that means. So we have, like on a number line, here would be that p hat, and what we've said is our upper confidence limit is p hat plus e. In other words, this right here, this distance here, is e. We've added e to p hat, and we got here. And then down here would be p hat minus e. So again, we've gone down the number line e, right? That distance is e. Okay, and let me mark these. I'm calling this our upper confidence limit and our lower confidence limit. Alright, so how, if we are given just numbers for these limits, how would we determine what p hat we had used for this problem? Well, we would say that p hat then is equal to the upper confidence limit. Look how it's right between the two, right? It's exactly between the upper confidence limit and the lower confidence limit. So what do we call that number right there in the middle? The average, right? So upper confidence limit plus lower confidence limit, we'll divide that by 2, and then we'll find what is this number right here in the middle. Okay, so that's how we'll find p hat. And now how do we find e? Well, e is just this distance. If we could get the distance from here to here, that whole distance, and then divide that by 2, that would give us e. So how do you get the distance between these two numbers? Well, you take the upper confidence limit and you subtract the lower confidence limit. That would give me the distance between. If this was 10 and this was 8, then 10 minus 8, this distance would be 2. And I've got e twice, so I would divide that 2 by 2 and get e equal to 1, right? So that's how we'll get e. So let's look at a quick example. And say we want to, here are directions. Express the confidence interval. I'm just going to abbreviate that, CI. And here we're given a confidence interval. It's written in interval notation, like this, in the form p hat plus or minus e. That's one way we can express a confidence interval, right? So to do that, well, I need to know what p hat is, and I need to know what e is. So we said, well, p hat is just the average of these two. It's the number right in the middle. So 0.239 plus 0.105 divided by 2, and I'll find out what p hat they used. We get 0.344 divided by 2, or 0.172. There's p hat. Then E, we said we'll take the difference between the upper 0.239 minus the lower. Of course, with subtraction the order matters, and then that distance split in half will give us E, because the distance represents E twice. Okay, 0.134 divided by 2, or 0.067. So now I can express this in the form I was asked to express it in. P hat 0.172 plus or minus 0.067.